Let's talk about um, the Family Matters, the mental health resource guide that you have, the preventative. What the hell so funny?
Well, because I just think about you saying how you didn't realize like how that guide came about, right? So
Yeah.
I just think it's hilarious how that guide comes about, how it came into um
So for
to
for
life.
for the people watching, I thought it was going to be like a pamphlet. I told her, put something together for parents who want to be proactive about their child's mental health. It was supposed to be for parents who had concerns about, you know, just society in general and the influence that it's having on their children, particularly social media, and they wanted to be proactive about their child's mental health. And also supposed to have some resources for parents who have a child that has developed a mental health condition and providing them with some information to where they can get help. And it was supposed to, well, not supposed to be. It was just, I'm just thinking of something simple. Just put some resources together, give them somewhere to go. And it ended up becoming this massive comprehensive guide. And I got an insight into the depth of Marsha's expertise. It was just like, wow, you had all of that in you, and I had to ask you for it. Like that should have you should have came with that from the beginning. I thought she was a short order cook. Not really, but I'm thinking of short order cook. Like she's gonna whip up a burger and fries, something regular, and she comes out with a 10 course entree, a 10 course meal, because she's a chef, trained in the finest culinary training institute. That was the difference between what I was expecting and what she delivered, and now I love it because it is another example of the efficiency of an online community, because each individual parent would have never gotten that level of input from you on a one-on-one basis. But
Right.
since you were pouring into an online resource that you intended to be for everybody, you put so much more into it. It's like a small book almost. And so, talk about that from uh, your perspective as a care provider, because this it looks like this may be a new tool in your toolbox that you haven't used before, and if so, I want to hear your thoughts about where you see that going in the future, maybe additional similar resources you would create for other audiences.
Yeah. So in the comprehensive mental health guide for parents, um, the way what I did was I thought about the things that I've navigated as a provider with parents regarding their children and excuse me, and their children's mental health. And so um I I thought about everything that transpires in those things. So I think about your medical relationship with your pediatrician. That was the first thing that I thought about because a lot of times, parents will reach out to their pediatricians. And so throughout this comprehensive mental health guide, it really talks about the different things that you should do, the different things that you should do for your kids or be aware of as navigating mental health. And so, I put in like the different modalities that I think a lot of people don't know that's out there in terms of therapeutic modalities. I talk about the different testing that one can get, if somebody wants a quick diagnosis, how to go about getting that, um, what you should do for medication management. Um, it really, what I think about it in actually, Lindsay, is it's a guide to really to how to create your community for your kid that I think every parent should have, like, if we think about the physical health, where to go for a cardiologist, where to go for heart issues and all that stuff. I really look at that guide as how to create your team for your child, because we all struggle. Like our mental health wax and wanes. Mental health will sometimes it will not be the best. And I think that it's really important for parents to have that on their plate. And so throughout this guide, it really talks about how to keep in contact with your pediatrician, creating and establishing relationships, but also making sure like that pediatrician really knows the dynamics of your household, your family, your parenting. And so they can refer or recommend certain specialists or people that speak to the dynamics of your family. And so I think that I know that mental health for teenage girls have really been impacted. And so something that I think that would be really important is to create a guide or create a course around that, because I know that I think it actually starts changing around middle school. For girls and their mental health, the numbers actually start increasing, and for boys, it starts decreasing. And I really do see myself creating some type of guide or even course around that, because I think that that's a scary place of navigating. There's self-harming, there's trafficking, there's drugs, there's a lot of things that I think parents are really fearful of, and they just don't know where to go. And one of the things that I've seen is preventative, being able to be in the know, and just knowing what to do or what to look out for. Because sometimes, or not sometimes, a lot of times when my parents are in a crisis, they're working from a place of it's a lack of information. And so sometimes they make these choices that might not be beneficial to everyone, including their child and the rest of the family. And so I've personally I've experienced that from when I was young, of just kind of people thinking they're doing the best. And I understand like if that's the best with no information, but just imagining if they did have that information. And so really, thinking about those things around like teenagers. I think teenage parenting and teenagers is really hard. And so really working on that and around that and creating a guide or a course for that.
So I want any therapists who are watching, or any caregivers, care providers, to pay attention to that point, because what we're talking about is effectively an online course. That is the language that you may hear this described as. That really is all of what it is an online course. And what we're talking about is the power of an online course as a therapy tool, as a caregiving tool, as an information delivery tool to help parents avoid a situation that they don't want to be in, or to help any loved one, a concerned individual, from help them provide care for their loved one by providing them with the information they need to help them get the help that their loved one needs, or it may be the person seeking help for themselves. So the online course is an incredibly powerful tool in your toolbox. Think of it like in the past, you used to have to write a book or something like, to be able to do something like that. You don't have to do that anymore. Now we have all these tools on the internet that enable us to deliver our expertise in a way that makes it accessible to many more people and much more quickly. So again, I want you to pay attention to what Marsha just described, and think about what is your version of that. Who is the audience that you serve? Who are the people who are in need of your therapy and would benefit from having portions of your expertise put into an online course of some sort that you can deliver for free or for a fee? Because again, this has got to be, I'm all about sustainability. So sustainability through revenue generation. So you can have some courses that you provide for free, and you can have others that are fee-based. They have to pay for it, just like they pay for your therapy services. And